My name is Anthony James, and I love the German Netflix show Dark. I love it so much that I started a YouTube channel to talk about it. From the start, I've been told that the Dark train won't last forever, and if I want to continue to grow on YouTube, I need to move on. Well, you know what? I don't want to move on. This show is worth more. It's worth more theories, more analysis, deconstruction, and discussion. So if you're not ready to move on either, then you're in the right place. Right here on Dark Discussions. Hello, and welcome to Dark Discussions. I'm your host, Origin Anthony James. Thanks for joining me. We're here at the new time of 11 p.m. GMT British time. Sorry if this confuses anyone. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching this after the fact because they didn't know I was doing this a day earlier. I did mention it last week, but I'm sure it skipped. We've got a few people in, which is great. So thanks very much for coming in. Straight away, Matthew says, might want to update the description of the stream. I know that I accidentally wrote episode 1. I didn't mean that. I did delete. I deleted the 7 to put in the 8, but I accidentally did that. I think I also say every Tuesday. I think in the opening it still says Tuesday. Don't worry, that will all be fixed. Don't you worry. Okay. But this week I thought I'd go live on a Monday just to see how we go. Just to make sure, so I explained it last week. I'll explain it again for anyone who wants to know. It's just that if I do, Konrad and I record our movie podcast on a Monday. So if I go live on a Monday too, that means I'm all in the mood for it, and it means that I also have an evening to do other projects or sit and watch film with my wife or whatever. So you just get it. Anyway, this week I am going to the depths of IMDB, and I am going to be having a look at this is just a little lighthearted look. It's not going to be too long of a stream today. I'm just going to be looking at some of the thoughts from some people who didn't like the show. Because, believe it or not, there are some people who don't like Dark. I know, it's completely alien to me. But there are some people who don't like Dark. Would you believe it? So before we get into that, could you please drop a like on the stream? I just said drop a like. Oh, look at me. I'm turning into a YouTuber before your very eyes. Put a like on the stream. That would be really, really great. If you could also subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Every single Monday, we have a Dark Discussions live stream. Now, it's every Monday the live stream will happen, but until it actually gets put up in the proper listings on the channel, I think that'll be some point mid-Tuesday. That's how it sort of works. There's a bit of a delay to that. I'm trialing something new for all those audio listeners out there. I'm trialing recording it at the same time that I'm streaming it. Hopefully that doesn't mess too much with the latency of the stream. But if I'm able to do that, that means I'll be able to get you audio version up a lot quicker, which would be great if I can do that. I think that's all the housekeeping I have. Anyone who's in the watching now, if you want to pop into the chat, Shelley says hello. Hi, Shelley. If anyone wants to pop in the chat and have a chat with me, I know we probably will have less people in just because I have changed the day. It'll take people a while to get used to it. But it is what it is. So I've prepared something today that I don't need the chat involvement just in case. I was preparing to talk to nobody. I was preparing to talk to nobody today because I thought that no one would remember the change of the day. That was my fault. Anyway, so what I'm doing today, if you want to have a little input in what we're doing, I can also answer some questions if there's anything you want to talk about. There's been a few people actually commenting on older videos of mine recently, asking certain questions about the time splitting and all this sort of thing, which is actually funny because it sort of goes with the topic of today because we're doing the user reviews. So that's people who've just experienced the show, they give a review on IMDb, whereas but they also go to YouTube videos and ask questions in the comments, it would seem. So I'm actually going to be doing an episode of Dark Discussions soon, I would say probably in 3 or 4 weeks, where I'm gonna properly go through everything that I believe about the splits, the cycles, the loops. My opinion has changed since the beginning. I'll probably lay it out in a certain way and show you what I thought when the show first ended, and then I'm going to go in and say what I think about it now. Now I've done a lot of content on that, so I'm not going to do that next week. I'm going to do it in a few weeks. I will remind you, next week Konrad's on the show, so Konrad will be joining us next week, and we'll be going through the opening credits of Dark. So we'll be going through shot by shot each one, and we'll be talking about the symbolism behind it. We'll be talking about, does it appear in the show, because I think there are a few bits of the opening credits which don't appear in the show, funny enough. And we'll be going through that next week. Now, what I want, oh yeah, MDDM says he was waiting for this title to come. Thanks. MDDM, you are right in wanting this. I probably will do this again with new reviews with Konrad at some time. I think Konrad and I would have good fun doing this as well. But I'm gonna have a go at it myself. I know I did a very YouTuber thing saying roasting negative reviews. I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna go fully hard in on these people. I'm not gonna sit here and try and do a comedy thing. You know, if it happens, it happens. I'm just gonna we'll just experience them together. Guys, we'll experience them together. Master on Your North says, some people don't like Dark because of legit reasons. Fair. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And you might be surprised that I might agree with the reason why someone doesn't like the show, but it just doesn't ruin it for me. You know what I mean? I would say people who were giving it a 1-star review, maybe I'm not going to agree with much they're saying, but we'll see. Others, however, didn't like it because it was too mentally taxing and hard to process the complexities of the series. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Okay, so Nadisha, hello, how are you? Kristen, hello, how are you? Joseph, Guten Abend, hello. Vic, you're up. You got a few extra hours of sleep this week, Vic. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for remembering the time it's going to be on. Right, okay, also we'll say, see, next week we're going to have Konrad on. Konrad is going to be talking about, all about the opening credits of the show. The week after that, I'm going to be doing a character study. Now, I am going to try and do that live. I want to stick to the live function we got here. But what I'm going to do is, at some point in the next week or two, I'm going to be putting a poll on my Twitter, at @HeyAnthonyJames. Go and follow me on Twitter. I'm going to be putting up a poll, and you can vote on it. Which character you want me to do a character study of, okay? Now, that character study, I know it's going to be live, but I might be able to mix in some pre-recorded elements to it. Maybe I'll do like a 5-minute little video essay style thing, and we'll pop that up on the live stream. We can all watch it, and I'll talk about other stuff. So I'm playing with the ideas of what to do there, but I am going to keep it as a live stream in a few weeks. So pop over to Twitter and do that. Okay, I think we're deep enough in now that we probably should start having a look at some of these. Now, what I thought I'd do is I would have a look. So, yep, you can see that. I think I would have a look at some of the really good reviews first. Okay. Now I've sorted the reviews by date. So these are the most recent because I find it really interesting. Some people who are watching the show late or reviewing the show late, why they are or what they're doing. So I thought we'd start off with a couple of good ones just to see what sort of the discourse on IMDb is for people who liked the show. Okay. Nadish says, watching from Sri Lanka, we love the show. Oh, great to hear. We've people from all over the globe. It's so fantastic. I think, so Sri Lanka, it's big in Sri Lanka. That's great to hear. I know it's big in India as well. Dark seems to have really done well in that part of the world. You maniac live streaming at 4 past. It's actually 4 past 11 where I am. But yeah. Call me a maniac all you want. Jeez, I'm a night owl. That's what I am. I'll probably watch. To be honest, I'll probably watch some TV after I get off this as well. It's just the way I go. All right, Oscar says, "Hi everyone. First time commenting here, but I've been watching all the videos since episode 2, season 1. I really enjoy your content and I always waited for each new episode. Greetings from Poland." Hi Oscar. Thanks very much for watching. Really, really great to have you on board. I know that there's a lot of people who came to this channel through the After Dark podcast, and Dark is going to stay on the channel. Obviously, when we get to 1899, we're going to mix that in as well. But and if there's any other shows you'd want me to cover on here, I can. But it's always going to have an aspect of Dark or the Dark creators in it in this particular show. All right, so let's have a look. So first of all, this first one says brilliant. Well, I'd agree with that. We'd all agree with that, wouldn't we? Well, sorry, I've just noticed Nadisha said it's 4:30 a.m. Oh, geez, that's very early in the morning. Well, thanks very much for. Nadisha, I can't believe you're tuning in at that time of night. I can't. Well, in time of morning, I should say. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. That's mind blowing. And And it's great to hear those sorts of things, because sometimes, you do think, what's going on here? Are these people all just bots? Are they actually listening to what I have to say? It's very, very strange. Okay, before we get jumped in, Eric's given another comment here. So I am going to read Eric's comment, then I'm going to jump into a few of these reviews. Eric says, on negative opinions of Dark, not everyone wants a puzzle. Not everyone likes melodrama. But I think, like The Godfather, there can't be really a sincere opinion that it isn't expertly made. That's well said. Very well said. Obviously, the show might not be for everyone, but so I'm going to be focusing, Eric, I'm not going to be looking at like 4-star reviews, 3-star reviews. I'm going to be looking at 1 and 2-star reviews. So I'm going to be looking at the people who just had a real compulsion to hate this show. They were really put off by it. I want to see why. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at a few good ones. So this person says, Dragon Cherry says, brilliant. I'm really sorry if someone actually who watches this video or stream made these reviews. I don't think anyone who made the 1-star reviews will be watching this, but I'm going to be very nice to these ones. So these are 10-star reviews. So I'm currently rewatching this in order to show my boyfriend. That's the best way to watch Dark for a second time, in my opinion. That's brilliant. I love watching this show with people, and I think as long as there's new people popping up in my life, I'll be showing on this show. So that's great. What a masterpiece this is, and and he is enjoying it thus far. Casting is amazing. Agree there. With, of course, amazing performances. Agree there as well. Each episode is a piece of a puzzle that you can't help but want to see its entirety. Just step back and marvel at it. I think we all agree with that. I think everyone in this stream probably agrees with Dragon Cherry there. Never a better word spoken. All right, so this one, I'll read one more positive one, and then we'll get into the stinkers, right? So, awesome. This series is unlike any other series I've ever seen, but in a really good way. The storytelling is excellent, the cast is phenomenal, the photography is spectacular, and the music is perfect. I just can imagine them writing that review. It's like, all right, I've used excellent, I've used phenomenal, I've used spectacular. What can I say the music is? Perfect. I'm not roasting these ones. I'm sorry, I'm not roasting these ones. It is by far one of the best TV series I've ever seen. I have seen some people saying that season 3 is not as good as season 2. I've been rewatching a few of my old videos because I'm trying to get in my mind what I thought when I first watched season 3. And to be honest with you, I focused too much on people who didn't like the show. I was going on these big lectures at the start of videos about everyone, but saying things like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm just looking back at it now, and that whole talk about people being unsatisfied with season 3. Yes, there are people there, and I'm sure there's people watching here who were a little bit unsatisfied with season 3. But the vast, vast majority of the audience were not. 98% of the audience loved the end of the show, loved season 3. So I was caught up in it, I think, and I was reading too many negative comments in the YouTube comments. I don't know why I focused so much or even paid any attention to that 1 or 2% who didn't like the end of season 3. I don't really know why I focused on that. I think big voices in a minority stand out, and that's probably why I was doing that. And I was feeling like I had to try and convince them to like the show, which I don't really think. I'll never try to convince someone that it's good. You know what I mean? I think I'll just say what I think about it, and if they agree with me, they agree with me. If they don't, they don't. All right, so let's get into some stinkers then. So let's go review date. Before I do, Vic says, Season 3 of Dark is brilliant. I just wanted a couple more episodes because I didn't want it to end. That's true. To be honest with you, Shelley, you said earlier in the chat, what legit reasons could you have for not liking it? Now, there's no legit reasons for not liking it in general. But one negative, in my opinion, is that the last season didn't have 10 episodes. And I think that there were a couple of small areas of the plot that they could have fleshed out more. If they never do anything in this universe again, if they never do a spin-off, if they never do a film, I will always be thinking, why didn't they show us a little bit more of the Agnes stuff? I'll always be thinking that, Even having said that, it's they're questions. I'm happy that there's questions at the end of the show. It's just that I really want to know. I really want to see. And for me, I think they just slightly misjudged how much the thirst of the diehard fans would be to want to know what happened to Agnes. But at the same time, we can't have everything. It needs to be what it is. Okay. Let me see here. So, review. Review date. We're going to review date, and we're going to go 1-star reviews. So these are 1-star reviews. Oh, just knocked my computer. Hopefully you didn't hear that. 1-star reviews of people who've just reviewed it. I'm also going to go, I'll probably go back to when it first came out as well. But these are people who've probably heard about how great Dark is. And they go into the show expecting huge things, right? So let's have a look here. Let me see if I'll actually zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see. Let me see here. Let me see. Can you see that? I think you can. I'll just zoom out a bit. It's too much bother. Right, too boring and nonsense. Nonsense. 1 star. I just will say, I don't think I've ever seen a film or a TV show that I've given 1 star. I don't think I've ever seen a show or like a TV show or a film that I've given 1 star. I'll just say that. I think people who give 1 stars to things are far too reactionary. Far too reactionary. That's a proviso going in. Right, okay, so too boring. It fails to convince you into the idea. You watch and nothing makes sense until the last episode of the last season. Right. Let's break this down. Okay? Also, it is interesting as well that 2 out of 11 people found this helpful. Thank you very much to those people who are going to IMDb and rating these not helpful. I love that idea. People who are fans of the show just going and rating it non-helpful. Only 2 people found this helpful. Okay. Right. Oh, Marvin, I'm sure there are some worthy 1-star reviews. I'm sure there are. They do exist. But I don't think I've ever thought to myself that was a 1 star. Like even The Room, for example, or Troll 2. The comedy value alone is, makes it above me. If I was being objective, yeah, those probably are 1 star. All right, okay, so let's break this down a bit. Nothing makes sense until the last episode of the last season. So your complaint is that it makes sense. What's the point? Like, it's a mystery show. What are you talking about? It's supposed to make sense at the end. Like, do they watch like the film Clue, and they're like, I didn't know who the killer was until the last 5 minutes. 1 star. Come on. Let's don't have to spend any more time on that. Tried to replicate Stranger Things. I read this. I will admit I read this. I've read this one before. Tried to replicate Stranger Things with Rick and Morty storyline. That's just laughable. This is very laughable to me. And I'm sorry to these people. If these people ever see this video, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm not having a go at you as a person. I'm sure you're lovely. You were too reactionary with this, to be honest with you. All right. So first of all, I ignored the absurdity of the sci-fi part. What, the whole thing? Like, I know there's a lot of like just true characterization, and there's like a lot of drama, but is there really any storyline in the show that isn't at least in some way touched by time travel? Is there anything? I don't think there is. I think most things, like, I'm sure, like, okay, maybe the Klaus and Alexander storyline, it was at the very end that became about the time travel. But I suppose, but come on. There's not a part of this show that doesn't have something to do with the sci-fi part. Okay, so the infinite paradoxes with it. It's okay. You want to see some good thriller/story. You swallow some logic. Okay, fair enough. I could maybe get on board with that. Konrad said that a few times. You just take what they give you. Take what they give you and you get on with the story. But the character development, the storyline, makes no sense at all. One can swallow this on a high, but not with a straight mind. Are they literally saying that the only way you can swallow the complexities of Dark is by being high? Is that what I'm reading here? Would anyone be able to follow this show under the influence of any sort of drug? I think that's mental talk. That is mental talk. The whole crux of the story is everything is related to everything, because why not? When you have time travel, you can connect whatever with whoever whenever you wish. Well, yeah. Yeah, you can. And they did. And it was good. It was great. I liked Rick and Morty. Why are you bringing Rick and Morty into this? Guys, can we get a show of hands in the comments here, in the chat? Who thought of Rick and Morty when watching this show? Like, who's going into Dark thinking, you know what? I've heard this is good. hopefully it's as good as Rick and Morty. Like, why? Why are you thinking of Rick and Morty? You know, such a strange comparison. Like they started off by saying it's trying to replicate Stranger Things, but they're not focused. Like, at least that's wrong. But at least I'd be able to get into that. Addy says only people with a very high IQ. You're exactly right. And I will say, Addy, actually, that I've been a bit afraid in the past that the dark community would turn into the Rick and Morty community. The reason I think it didn't is because I think there's now, again, we've all been teenagers at one point. If there's any teenagers in this group, in this chat, well done, you're on the right side. But I think that because teenagers are the vast majority of the Rick and Morty audience, or at least in terms of the memes, I think that is why, you know, it got a bit cringe in the end, didn't it? It got a bit cringe, you know. And as I say, I work with teenagers; they're not cringe all the time, but the Rick and Morty stuff got cringe. Master Onion says he never watched Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is a good show. Like, don't get me wrong, it's funny. I haven't seen the last season. It eventually lost me. I was like, okay, Rick and Morty is about Back to the Future. It's sort of based on Back to the Future. Doc and Marty, Rick and Morty, okay? But just because it's based on Back to the Future, in a way, kind of, doesn't really mean to me that you should be viewing Dark like Rick and Morty. You know, like we've heard people going into Equinox thinking of Dark. We've heard about people going into this thinking of Stranger Things. I've never heard of people going in here thinking of Rick and Morty. It's just hilarious to me. I like Rick and Morty, but as you can watch some nonsensical sci-fi as comedy with deep meaning in between. Oh, that's Rick and Morty for you. Nonsensical sci-fi with deep meaning in between. It's interesting to me that they say it's that Rick and Morty. So this is actually a person who doesn't buy into the Addy. This person doesn't buy into the whole very high IQ Rick and Morty fan, because they're saying that Rick and Morty is nonsensical. Interesting. So this is a person who loves Rick and Morty so much, but it's nonsensical to them. Interesting. Okay. But here we get a serious, nonsensical, bogus soap opera. Remember that word that comes back a lot. Is trying to convince you of its depth and beauty, and possibly it succeeded as well by making it so complex and so alien that many sane minds just gave up questioning. Well done. That's what we are, guys. We are sane minds. At least this person admitted that. We're sane minds, and we just gave up questioning. That's our problem. That's our problem. We gave up questioning, and we just succumb to the to the willpower, I suppose, of Baron Bodor. You know, we are sort of like in his cult now, I think. I think that's how it works. Okay, so Connecting the Dots says, I have a good one. 3 years ago, the show is coherent and pointless. Dialogues are flat. The whole thing is dull and doesn't fulfill its promises. Oh, is that from IMDb? Jeez, okay. Doesn't fulfill its promises. What did it promise? I want to know what the show promised. Okay, let me see here. Master on your North says Dark is combined Donnie Darko, Looper with elements of Back to the Future and Game of Thrones. Interesting. Obviously the Looper comparison is interesting to me. Looper's idea, I've got a video on this if you want to check it out. Looper's idea of time travel is very, very different to Dark. But the idea of the older self, the younger self, I can see it. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Okay, let's get back to the reviews. So the next one just says, 1 star, poor soap opera. Now, the fact that they didn't go in to the details here tells me that, for one thing, the soap operas they watch have time travel in them, because they didn't say it was anything different. So it was just a poor soap opera. What I also love about this, and this is the real kicker for me here, poor soap opera. In the echelon of soap operas, Days of Our Lives, Neighbours, Home and Away, EastEnders, these soap operas, this is a poor one. It's poor. Wouldn't it be an insult enough just to say it's a soap opera? Isn't that insult enough? But no, it's a poor soap opera. Okay, alright. Thanks, Casio. Okay, now, horrible acting. Well, this one actually goes into quite a bit of detail here. Let's have a look. This actually doesn't say 1 star, but it must be, because I sorted by 1 star. Imagine if Groundhog Day never got to the point. That's actually a good opening line. That's pretty funny. But again, as I've mentioned before, this is not Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is a time loop. It's resetting the day every time, whereas Dark is a causal loop. Okay, there is lots of intricacies to the timelines, which I'm going to go into in a future Dark discussion, but it's a causal loop, meaning the events are looping. Okay, so imagine if Groundhog Day never got to the point, stuck in the part where Bill Murray's day is repeating, but he doesn't know why, forever, over and over. I accidentally skipped an entire season and never even noticed. Okay, this person's full of something, you know, that's what I would say. Okay, horrible acting. I know, how could they say the acting's horrible? Oh, you know why? I think I've got to the bottom of this, Yosef. I think they must think horrible acting because they're watching it with the dub. Jackpot. I think that must be what they're doing. They're watching it with the dub. That's why they're acting. Like, these actors are so bad, they can't even make the sound come out at the same rate as the mouth is moving, you know? That's 100% has to be what it is. Like, okay. This person says, did not understand anything that happened. I've seen this before. For this person, Daria, if you're watching, put on the subtitles. You'll understand it a lot better. Put on the subtitles. It's actually in German originally. Okay, boring and grossly overrated. Boring, dry, and gross. Good thing they repeated that. I needed that to be repeated. Boring and grossly overrated. I was thinking, do they really think it's boring and grossly overrated? Like, sure. Okay, sure. They said it in the title of their review. But do they really believe it? And then they gave it to us again. Boring, dry, and grossly overrated. And this time they've added in dry as well. Not enough room in the title for the word dry there. There wasn't enough room in the title for dry, but they've added it into the, you know, where there's more description in the bottom part. They added it in for us. So boring, dry, and grossly overrated. Budgeting for trolls is huge with this one. All right, let's unpack that. What does that mean? Budgeting for trolls. I'm sure they mean internet trolls. Budgeting for trolls is huge with this one. What do we mean? I don't know what they mean by that. 3 people found it useful, found that review helpful. I honestly don't really know. Budgeting for trolls. Yeah, that's a mystery, isn't it? That's a mystery. That's one of the very mysteries of Dark. Is it budgeting for trolls? What does budgeting for trolls mean? I think budgeting for trolls... What is going on? Budgeting for trolls. I think this person here is just operating on a realm far above us. I don't really know. Budgeting for trolls. Okay. All right, let's see how the chat's getting on. Eric says, back to the Looper talk. Looper turned me off and its treatment of time travel. I felt like it was an interesting idea that didn't really execute properly. Yeah, Looper has a lot to like in it, to be honest with you. But the style of time travel that is in Looper doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, let's be honest, it can be put in the box of really good fun. You know, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny. At least with Dark, it takes a lot of analysis to possibly get to somewhere where there's a little bit of a plotty hole. But I don't think you actually get any plot holes in Dark, because the fact of the matter is, because they have that third world, that's a great way of saying, yeah, but all this only happens because of the third world created it, you know. So they get away with a lot there. Venla, hi, nice. Thanks for joining us. New time, good to see you. You made it. Vic, what the fuck does budgeting for trolls mean? I agree. I want to know. Venla, you just joined us, actually. What does budgeting for trolls mean? Not to put you on the spot, but I don't know what it means. Nadisha says, best show with the worst dub. I haven't listened to many dubs, and to be honest with you, I'm going to not listen to many more. So it probably will be the worst dub I've ever listened to, because I'm not going to listen to it anymore because of how bad this one was. Very, very bad, very bad. Oh, Venla doesn't know. Okay, well, never mind. We'll get there in the end. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this person shows their cards straight away. They say cure for insomnia. All right? Now, this is how you know they've shown their cards straight away, because they start off their review by saying, a masterpiece? A masterpiece? Like, if you weren't going in to this show with preconceived ideas, would you start this review like this? This person has been told by the internet, by Reddit, by a friend, whatever, it's a masterpiece. And they've went in thinking, yeah, you think you're a masterpiece? Well, you know what, German Netflix show? I'm going to show you that you're not a masterpiece. And this person said, really? It started okay. It got interesting in the first 8 episodes. And then, okay, so you're telling me that you liked the first 8 episodes. You liked almost a third of the show. But you still gave it a one-star review. Really? If you went to a restaurant and you ordered 3 meals, you had a starter, you had a main, you had the dessert. You absolutely loved the starter. It was unbelievable. The best thing you've ever eaten, right? You really liked it. But then the main was disgusting, and the dessert, they just forgot to give it to you. Would you give them a 1-star review? You might. Okay, let's be honest, actually. That's not a very good analogy, because you might. But it still had the best starter you've ever had. Still have it. It had you hooked there for the minute. Then I couldn't figure out who went where, who saved whom, and who was calling the shots. Who was whom? And the vagueness kept on and on. Now, the thing is, interesting part about this is this person? You might think this person is a fool. They are not. They are not a fool. They are not a fool. They couldn't follow the show. Fair enough. Like, that's not a problem. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be a snob about it. They are clearly a very clever person. I mean, they are using the word whom. You know, so that proves that they're a clever person. So, you know, they maybe they watched it again. Another viewing for that person, I think. Oh, that person gets another viewing, I think. Okay, let me see. Eric says, as an American, I can confidently say that the average American cultural taste is deeply suspect. Okay. The thing is, America's a huge place. When I went to America on my honeymoon, I talk about sometimes when I went to certain places in America, went all over the place. Went New York, Nashville, New Orleans, Memphis, Pigeon Forge, Dollywood. Any Americans? We went to Dollywood and Pigeon Forge. Went to Atlanta, went to San Antonio, went to LA, Anaheim to go to Disneyland. Never been before. It was great. We went to San Francisco, went to Las Vegas. Let me tell you something about what Las Vegas. They tell you the drinks are free, and they are, but you got to be gambling. We had a few. This is a tangent, but it is funny. Me and my wife were getting a few drinks at the slot machines. You know, literally the $1 slot machines, like the 1-cent slot machines. Got like 3 drinks off $1. It was pretty good. The thing is, no one told us as well. We're supposed to, like the waitresses expect tips. We didn't know that, so we was like getting free drinks all night and not tipping anyone. But anyway, so that was my cultural naivety there. But basically, what we did, we were like, oh, these free drinks are great. We're gonna cut out the middleman, and we went and sat at the bar, right? And we were just sitting there, right? We were just sitting there waiting for him to offer us a drink because we were like, we're getting free drinks from the bar. And he goes, hey, do you want a drink? And we were like, yeah, please, yeah. Glass of red wine, whatever, right? Came back, that'd be $45. We didn't know that if you sit at the bar, they actually charge you. Like, you know, they're getting free drinks everywhere else in the casino. Apparently, you need to click the button to do the max bet. So the next time we got a free drink, I literally went up to him and said, listen, like, let's be honest. The last barman, he charges for our drinks, but we get free drinks here, don't we? He says, well, I'm not supposed to be saying this, but you actually click max bet. Even if you put $1 in, you click max bet, I can give you a free drink. So then we got every other round for only $1 the rest of the night. Okay, that's how we do it. That's how we do it here. Right, let me see. Some more interesting stuff here. Eric says, North America is vast, usually a cultural shock for Europeans. Eric, that's what I was going to say, because it's actually a thing that Europeans in general... And I, like, you know, having lived in Europe for, you know, a long, long time, and I still live in Europe, even if people who believe in Brexit don't believe, like, Europe is a continent, you know what I mean? The thing is that I always thought it was funny that Americans would say I'm going to Europe. I thought that was really funny, because Europe is a load of different countries, and it doesn't make sense to say I'm going to Europe. You know, if you just, you know, I've been to Europe, you know, like, if you go to Spain, it's completely different than Italy, completely different than Germany. So, this is the reason why I was saying this, is because when I've been to America, and I've been to all the places, like a load of places, like 13 different cities in America now, I know how culturally different it is everywhere. So, for Americans, if we say, oh, I'm going to the USA, they probably view it in the same way as we view them saying, I'm going to Europe. You know, because when Americans say, oh, I'm going to Europe, we're like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, there's so many different countries. But in America, there's so many different cultures in the USA that they probably feel the same way. They're probably like, well, what are you talking about? You going to the USA? Where are you going? Favorite place I've visited? Angela asks. We're off topic here, but I'm loving it. My favorite place. Okay, so I think in the end, my favorite place was New Orleans. Although just for sheer comedy value, Las Vegas was hilarious. Like, to be honest with you. But yeah, New Orleans. The first day we got to New Orleans, right? We wanted to go to like a jazz. We wanted to go to a jazz blues, street. right? Basically. So we went to Bourbon Street. As soon as we got there, we were there for a week. We wanted to go to New Orleans really badly, so we blocked out. We were there for a month in America. We went to New Orleans for a week. And we blocked out a week to go there. The first day we got there, we went to Bourbon Street. And I'm going to be honest with you. We were really disappointed because we went to Bourbon Street. It smelt like urine. I could see people throwing up. And I was like, this isn't what I thought it would be. I didn't realize Bourbon Street was just like a huge, like, go and get drunk street. And there was like women's like standing in the windows of strip clubs and stuff. And I was like, this isn't what I thought New Orleans was. And then we went into a bar and we got talking to someone. We were like, yeah, where's all the live jazz and, where's all the live blues? We want to go see some music. And they said we should go to the other side of the French Quarter, which is called Frenchman Street. And then we found New Orleans. So that's where it is. But yeah, absolutely unbelievable. So I think New Orleans, we went on like a swamp tour. We went to the Whitney Plantation. If you haven't heard about the Whitney Plantation, look it up. It's a fantastic educational resource. It's one of the only plantations in the whole state of Louisiana which looks at the plantations from the point of view of a slave. It's really, really good. It's really, really educational. And we went on like a ghost tour. We went around and like learnt about all the ghost tour stuff. It's really, really good fun. I would really recommend it. Okay, so back to dark. Yeah, someone says Ireland here as if that's the best place I've been. Well, I live in Ireland, so, I go there every day. Although we are going to Iceland at some point. My wife surprised me. She's been secretly saving money for the last, like, year and a half. And she gave me a load of money for my birthday. I don't know where she's getting this money from. I didn't notice she was saving it. And she gave me the money and said, like, if it wasn't COVID times, I would have been giving you tickets to Iceland because it's always been my dream to see orcas in the wild. And I'll never go see them in a sea park, because I feel so sorry for them. But I know I was brainwashed by Blackfish, shoot me, But basically, I'm gonna go see orcas in the wild, and I can't wait to do that. But so I've got that money there waiting for tickets whenever this COVID stuff moves on. Right. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff going on here in the comments. Let's see what people are saying. Shelley says, Dark is a masterpiece. I don't even think, like time travel or sci-fi, but I love Dark because it is so perfect and well made. I agree with that, 100%. Well, I don't agree with the part about not liking time travel. I absolutely, you know me, guys. I love time travel. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it's probably just because Back to the Future, I watched it so much as a kid. But time travel is just a genre which speaks to me, to be honest with you. Connected Dot says, Iceland is cool. Weather is worse than in England, though. Didn't see that coming. Well, I know it's going to be very, very cold. My wife has bought me mittens as well. Big, like, sheep hide mittens, which apparently it's warmer if your fingers are together. So you need mittens. I look like the penguin from Batman Returns when I wear them, which is pretty cool. All right, guys, there's 37 people in here right now. Hi, Belinda. There's 37 people in here right now. Could you pop a like? Pop a like on the video. Why not? Give it a wee like. I can't believe we've got 37 in here when it's on the wrong day. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. Conrad and I are really happy with the way that the OA has started. If you haven't checked out the OA, or if you just want to follow, just listen to it anyway. You might like the OA if we watch it. If you watch it with us, we're going into it in as much depth as we did Dark. Whether or not the OA is worth the same amount of analysis as Dark is a whole nother discussion. But it's a show that I really like, and whatever Konrad thinks happens next, because it has been cancelled, whatever he thinks happens next is in fact canon. It is in fact canon. All right, so let me see here. Connecting the Dark is a masterpiece. Never believe anything else. I never will. Joseph, Danny DeVito, Penguin. Exactly, yeah. Well, that's, I'm like Danny DeVito if you stretched him out to be 6'6", I'm 6'6", which is like 197 centimeters, 198 centimeters, something like that. Pretty tall. So I'm not like Danny DeVito in many ways. Okay, let me see. Let's have another look at a couple of these before we go. Awful show. That's like in Breaking Bad. Isn't Breaking Bad, he says awfully, and they make fun of him for saying it twice. Oh, terribly. Is that what it is in Breaking Bad? Terribly sorry. Top New Pro says Dark is garbage. You know what, Top New Pro? I don't believe you. Please don't watch this show, says this person. It is genuinely awful. Don't know how people like this. Story doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's interesting to me. Don't know how people like this. Again, that's someone who's coming to this. That's someone who's coming to this with a preconceived notion of what they should think of a show. Guys, I don't like getting up and preaching to you, but if you're going into a show thinking about what it's going to be, or thinking this better be the best show ever, it's probably the wrong thing. Yeah, you might be trolling. Yeah, it might be trolling. Also, did we get to the bottom what troll budgeting is? Did someone give us a definition of troll budgeting? This is really, really getting me. Troll budgeting. If we did, let me know. There's too much chat here to look back on now. I really want to know what troll budgeting is. No idea. Budgeting trolling. Yeah, budgeting a troll. Not troll budgeting. Budgeting a troll. Okay, let me see here. There's some long ones. Let's do this one. I'm embarrassed to admit that I watched 2 seasons before bailing. Oh, okay, I'm not reading that. He didn't even finish the show. I say he, sorry. Assume that. It's he or she. Don't be fooled by ratings. Complete waste of time. Slow series. Story completely mixed up. Avoid watching it. Don't waste your time. People say it's good just to call themselves as cool. Okay, interesting. Don't believe them. It's just fake. Literally didn't like it. Oh, really? Okay. See, I thought the way that was going, I thought they were going to say that they loved it. So it's a good thing they said they used the word literally there. Literally didn't like it. Thanks for clarifying that. Horrible web show ever seen. So worst web show. Do we say that? Do we say web show? Is that what we say? Is that what Netflix shows are? Web shows? I don't know. Is that? Have we not moved past that? Is it now just? Are they not just called TV shows now? I thought they were. Boring web show ever seen. This person is the same. They've done 2. Look, Rohan WK. Rohan WK. Can we look at their profile? Let's see what they like. This person is doing 2 reviews on Dark. How many reviews on Dark did they do? I'm really interested in this now. This person, I'm sorry, Rohan. I'm sorry if you ever see this. I'm not meaning to go at you like this, but we've got to see what they like. Boring web show ever seen. Boring web show. They did 2. Maybe they clicked the button to put to. Do you reckon this happened? Like they clicked the button to submit and it didn't, and they didn't think it worked. Is that maybe why they did 2 of them? I don't know. Okay, most of these aren't in English, so I'm not going to be able to do much with them. Okay, I can't really make any of that. Sorry, Rohan. We're gonna have to leave you there, Rohan. Right, we'll do one more. 26 hours of torture. Counting every hour. I don't really understand the hype around this web series. Again, web series. Is there certain parts of the world where these are called web series? Is that what it is? Certain parts of the world call them web series. It might be. Too much confusion going forth back into the future, past and present. One of the most boring TV series ever. Right. I thought Lost was boring, but Dark takes boring to another level. Waste of time. Do yourself, and stay away. Okay, that was a bit much. Cartoons. Do yourself, and stay away. Probably meant to say do yourself a favor, and stay away from this dramatic. I love these reviews that just leaving words out, because these people are so incensed by Dark that they have to run to IMDb and go and just don't even like read what they've written. You know. Okay. Oh, Venla popping here reminded me, guys. There is a link to the T-shirt underneath. If you want to get the T-shirt, which is my wife's design, it is there. If you do not want, that's okay. 100% absolutely fine. There are a number of people who've already picked up the T-shirt. I hope mine's in the mail now. I'm going to be wearing mine on a podcast coming soon to you. Oh, thank you very much, Venla. Venla said she just ordered it. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a nice little memento. Oh, guys, by the way as well, I changed the theme of the After Dark podcast. What do you think of it? I changed it to sort of a more 80s, sort of Tron-like thing. I thought it was pretty cool. Let me know what you think. I've had a few positive feedbacks about it. Vic says, any chance of hoodies in the future, Anthony? I got like 100 t-shirts. Oh, Vic, the thing is, if you go to the website, if you follow the link to the t-shirt, and if you click, there's only one item, but if you click on the on that item, it will take you in, and then you can choose any garment you want. You can choose a zip-up hoodie, you can choose a pullover hoodie, you can choose a pullover with no hoodie, you can use a t-shirt, you can use one of those baseball tops with the white sleeves. You can choose. You can get them all. MDDM says, new theme looks good. Excellent. Thank you very much. I love the feedback. Synonymous Being says, why is it $18.99 using the volume set text? Seriously fascinating. Well, there's a few things I think about that. I saw someone talking about that. Maybe it was UPB actually. I can't remember who in a comment very recently. Maybe was that you saying like there's a load of outdoor photography being taken, like outside. Personally, I think we're getting a bit too. I think the most realistic thing is that they're going to use it for the ship shots. So they're going to use it to have like the sea in the background. That's what I think it's going to be, because I think they are going to go to locations for the forests and the mountains and stuff. Although they are testing those on the volume as well, so you never know. Maybe they are going to go to particular locations. Who knows? Vic says, "Have I seen Legion? Is that the Paul Bettany film? I haven't seen it. I remember the trailer. It came out in 2010, I think, that film. That was my last year of secondary school. And I remember watching the trailer thinking, oh, I want to watch that. It was something like a little old woman in a diner or something. Went mental. I don't know what. But is that one you're talking about? Or is there a different Legion out now? Oh, it's a series. Okay. It's not bad. Okay. I haven't seen... Well, I've only heard of the film, so maybe I should check out Legion, actually. Was that the new French one that's out? Anyway, I'll not go down that rabbit hole of trying to check what that was. All right, let me go back to the big shot here. If I can. There we go. Right, okay, so that is me going... I don't think I really roasted them. Maybe you think I did. But I had a look at some reviews there. To be honest with you, none of them were that great. I'd love to do this again with Konrad at some point. But that was good fun. I will remind you guys that next week, we're going to be doing... Konrad's going to be here, and we're going to be going through the opening credits of Dark. Each one, all three. We're going to go through shot by shot and talk about it. It was funny nonetheless, Venla. You're exactly right. I thought it was good fun. This, I really, really liked it. Top New Pro says, you're welcome. I'm only spreading facts. Spread facts. I'm not sure what the massive failure is. That the Legion one you're talking about? Top New Pro says, I agree with every single review. Garbage show, garbage concepts. We only need 300 worlds. Hell. Okay, so this is the Top New Pro's new character. If you become the Top New Pro, if you become the new troll of the channel, that would really tickle me. That would be hilarious. Just turn on a dime, and now you're the troll. So we're going to be going through the series opening. Someone did request that a few weeks ago. I thought it was a good request. And then the week after that, go and follow me at HeyAnthonyJames on Twitter. I'm going to be putting up a review. No, sorry, I'm going to be putting up a a poll, and you can vote on what you want. I might even just put that on YouTube. YouTube does polls. I've been doing a few of those polls, and I'll ask you which character you'd like to see a character study of, and we're going to go through a character. Also, Anthony's handling like an outstanding teacher of young boys. Well, I'm not an English teacher. I used to teach primary school, so I did a bit of English there. So I've been sort of trying to stay away from the grammar that they're using here. I think everyone's entitled to get things wrong. Top New Pro is budget trolling. He's budget trolling all over the place. That's a thing. Okay, so PB says 1/10, 1 out of 10 for $18.99. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you can already say that's going to be bad. Venla says, yes, I loved Anthony's review of the teacher in the OA. Thanks very much. I was actually... Well, Connor, I didn't even realize I was going to have to do that, but I like giving my opinion on teaching. I don't like to focus on it too much on the channel, but when I get asked about it by Konrad or by one of you, I will talk about the fact that I'm a teacher. I do enjoy my job, so it's something that is part of me as well. Like it is part of me. So yeah, good stuff. And it's also nice, Venla, to have someone tell me they like my analysis, because usually when I'm sitting across from Konrad, he's going off on some 20 letter word description or something, and it's sort of, I'm just the average Joe in the background going, yeah, I thought it was pretty good too, So thanks for commenting on my analysis there. Okay, so I think that's us. I think I'm gonna go. What time is it here? 11:45. That's time. Oh, actually, what I was going to say to you is I thought I'd give you an update, because I did mention it a few weeks ago, that I started doing like cycling on a bike, and I'm watching a TV show. I wanted to let you know what I've been watching. So the first thing I watched was Biohackers. I finished that now, and I think I'm going to put a short review up of Biohackers in the next few days. Real too long didn't read version of that would be, it was all right, and the last scene made me interested in a second season. It's okay. Yeah, Top New Pro's right. It's okay. You think Biohackers is okay, Top New Pro, but you think Dark's the worst show ever made? Come on, get out of here. I'm not trusting that. I'm not trusting that. Okay, but yeah, so I watched Biohackers, and then I actually watched the whole animated show of Star Trek Lower Decks. Me and Emmett are going to be reviewing that in the next week or two. Orphan Black, Belinda, yes, I need to check that out. I need to check that out, definitely. Orphan Black. Angela says, thank you, Mr. James. We appreciate your insight. Well, there wasn't much insight going on in this episode, Angela, but thank you very much. It was just laughing at some people's comments in this one, but, you know, it is what it is. Addy says, just finished first season of Lupin. Lupin, is that the French one I was thinking of, not Legion? Yeah, maybe that's it. So I've done that. My question is, Tiers. So I've done a few different things on the bike now. What show should I watch next? I need to start a new one. I think I've done like 19 days in a row on the bike now. I need to keep going. So I need a show to watch while I'm watching it. I don't mind if it's in another language. I don't mind if it's a heavy watch. I've realized that I can just watch anything on the bike now. So think about that. I've seen Death Note, Top New Pro. I know that you like Death Note more. I know that you like, and I've said to you before that that's maybe one of the only things I would accept. So let me see some suggestions here. Alex says The Bridge. Okay, The Bridge. Interesting. I've not heard of that, actually. Also, Belinda's saying Orphan Black again. Yeah, I do need to take... The thing is, though, I'm not quite ready for an hour a day. I usually go about 45 minutes. So if it's an hour-long show, maybe I'll just do 45 minutes... And I'll just make myself go an hour, maybe. But maybe I'll do 45 minutes and then watch the last off it. Maybe something like that. But it's going well at the minute. Let me see here. Oh, PB, don't worry. The setup is not good. It's literally a bike folded up in the corner that I take out and put it on top of my son's toys while I'm watching something. That's literally it. There's not a setup going on. Don't worry. Okay, 12 Monkeys is a good biking show. 12 Monkeys, what's that on? Is that on something I could watch? Oh, Belinda, 42 to 45 minutes for Orphan Black. You're convincing me now. You're convincing me. Schitt's Creek is something that I've always needed to watch because my wife absolutely loves that show, and I've seen a little bits of it, bits and pieces. It does seem really good. Babylon Berlin, Yosef, is a show that I am almost finished. I've been watching it for a few months now, and to be honest with you, it's so good. Babylon Berlin is so good that I really don't want to finish it. You know, I'm like, I've got 3 episodes to go in season 3, and I'm just really, really trying not to finish it. Like, me and my wife are always like, do you want to watch Babylon Berlin? We're like, yeah, let's watch something else, because we don't want to finish it because we just love it so much. Tatort is that's a joke for you Germans. I understand that. I think Tatort, all I know about it, Tatort, is when I look up on IMDb, a German actor or actress, they've all been in that show. I don't know what that show is, but they've all been in it. So it's probably like a soap opera or something that's been running for years. Okay, Belinda, you might have convinced me here. Queen's Gambit, again, is one connecting the dots that I want to see. But the thing about the Queen's Gambit is they're an hour long. Some of them are an hour, 10 minutes long. I really want to watch it, but in terms of being on the bike, I'm not quite sure. Tatort. Is that how you do it, Venla? Tatort. Marvin thinks it's funny. Peaky Blinders is another one I've been told to watch a lot. Yeah, Peaky Blinders. Okay. Right, okay, there's a load of different things I could watch there. Ayo, Anthony, did you know that the OA got bought by another streaming service? Forgot the name, but yeah, Season 3 is coming out soon. Top New Pro, stop trolling me. You're trolling all night tonight. I meant just troll me on dark stuff. Don't start trolling me on everything. Yeah, that's a reality that I want too. Oh, it's a crime show. Oh, it's a bit like The Bill then in the UK. Okay, a lot of people saying Peaky Blinders is a good recommendation. Right, I'll let you know next week whether I watched Orphan Black or Peaky Blinders. I think Orphan Black may be first because there's less of it. I think Peaky Blinders is on like season 5 or something. But definitely, both shows I need to watch. Right, guys, I could sit here and talk to you forever, and I'm sure one night I will. I'm sure one night we'll just sit here for 4 hours and chat. But yeah, also, what I wanted to actually know before we go, could you let me know in the comments of this video when it comes out, right, so that I have somewhere to find it better than the chat, ideas for what we could do for the year anniversary of Dark Season 3 coming out. Okay? I want to do something special. I might do something like, I might reach out to a couple of a couple of YouTubers who covered Dark when it first came out, season 3. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see if they want to do something, like come on for a chat or something like that. Montage rankings, I could definitely do stuff like that as well. I want to make a bit of a thing of it. I don't want it just to be another episode of Dark Discussions. I want to sort of do the year anniversary, just to make sure we have some way to mark that as well. Because, you know, we'll always be thinking like, oh, it was 1 year, but, you know, we haven't had Dark for 1 year, it's 2 years, you know. So Top Noob Pro says, get dark matter and destroy the world. Now you're trolling the whole of humanity, Top Noob Pro. Jeez. Kelly Denzo, you get the last comment. The OA is just Sliders continued. Sliders. Sliders was a strange show. Very strange show. I remember watching it as a child. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I intended this to be a half-an-hour stream, but we let it get away with us. But that's not a bad thing. Right, guys, thanks very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate you joining me. These streams would be a lot more dull if you guys weren't with me. So if you haven't, drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to keep talking about Dark. We've finished it on Dark Discussion. We've finished it on the After Dark podcast. It is not going anywhere on Dark Discussions. It will continue going. Thanks very much. Anyone who's in a part of the world where you're only starting your day, have a good day at work, good day at school, whatever you're doing. Everyone else, have a good sleep. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.